The Tenant Fee Ban will become law on the 1st of June 2019. It will impact on all assured short-hold tenancies or licence to occupy contracts signed on or after the 1st of June 2019. Tenants' fees are already banned in Scotland and a ban is due for Wales later this year in September. The Act will apply to both landlords and agents, banning all fees or prohibited payments as a condition of arranging the grant, renewal or continuance of a tenancy in England. Payments made by tenants will be placed into two categories: permitted and prohibited payments. So what are the permitted payments? The permitted payments are as follows: rent, a refundable holding deposit of up to 1 week's rent. Only one holding deposit can be held per property at any given time, and you must stop marketing when a holding deposit has been taken. When you have taken a holding deposit, there is a deadline for agreement of 15 calendar days, which is the maximum period the holding deposit can be retained for. If the tenancy goes ahead, the holding deposit can be used towards the rent or the security deposit. If the landlord or agent withdraws from the tenancy, the holding deposit must be refunded within 7 days. You can only retain the holding deposit if the tenant provides false or misleading information which reasonably affects your decision to let to them. Another of the permitted payments is the security or tenancy deposit. This is now capped at 5 weeks' rent or 6 weeks' rent if the annual rent is over £50,000. Utilities are a permitted payment. Default fees are a permitted payment. However, these are now very specific. Lost keys and other security devices, a reasonable cost which would have to be evidenced to the individual responsible for payment. Rent arrears, which is set at 3% over base rate and cannot be charged until the rent is 14 days in arrears. However, it can then be backdated. Changes to the tenancy terms, such as change of sharer or rent payment date, which is stipulated at being charged at a reasonable cost, which is expected to be no more than £50. You can put a cost for the surrender of a tenancy. This must not exceed the outstanding rent, and the landlord's reasonable costs for reletting can be charged, but they will need to be evidenced in writing. So what are the prohibited payments? In basic terms, anything which is not listed as a permitted payment is prohibited. So they include application fees, referencing, check-in and check-out, inventory fees, admin fees for sending letters, contractors' call-out charges and failed appointments. The Act will make tenancies which feature prohibited payments null and void. There is a transition period of 12 months up to the 31st of May 2020. If a tenancy is signed before the 1st of June 2019 which contains fees, these can still be charged up to the end of the transition period. If an existing tenancy drops onto a statutory periodic or contractual periodic, these are classed as an extension of the existing tenancy agreement, and you'll be able to charge fees written into the existing contract. Trading standards have been empowered to enforce the Act. A tenant can also apply to the first tier tribunal to recover the payments prohibited under the Act. The penalty is a maximum of £5,000 to the landlord or agent for their first breach, or £30,000 if they have already had a financial penalty within the previous 5 years. A further penalty is the banning of the landlord and the agent. Under the amended Housing Act of 2016, a local housing authority can apply to courts to ban the landlord or letting agent who has breached the provisions of the tenancy fee bill for a period of up to 1 year. This will have stopped the offending landlord from renting out their property and the letting agent from acting as one till the end of the ban period. I hope you have found this information useful. We will be providing a frequently asked questions fact sheet for you. If you have any questions, please get in touch with the team at Homes For You.